The Mud Peddlers, a podcast where two nerdy ceramic artists share the behind the scenes of their worlds of clay. We're your hosts, Lindsey M Dillon.
And I am Donte of Earth Nation.
Hey guys, so just want to let y'all know that this week we're doing something a little bit different. Donte and I have done sort of a co-interviewing with our friends Ryan and Becca from Wheel Talk Podcast. So what follows is that interview. If you want to hear the full interview, you can go to Ryan and Becca's podcast, again, Wheel Talk, and listen to the full episode. I have edited a slightly shorter version, and if you want to listen to that, then carry on. And we hope you guys like the episode.
And if you see so fit, go ahead and leave them a review on their podcast as well. But thank you guys. We appreciate you. We love you. Stay safe. Stay warm and well fed. Gang, gang.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Wheel Talk. We are interviewing and kind of cross-chatting with friends of ours from the Mud Peddlers. So welcome to Lindsey and Donte from the Mud Peddlers. And Becca's here as well. So this will be kind of an interesting foursome interview with all of us. So do you want to just start off with just introducing yourselves and kind of what you do in clay and maybe who you are?
Oh, Lindsey, tell them how fantastic you are.
Okay, well, no.
If I must.
So, my name's Lindsey M Dillon, and I'm a ceramic artist, primarily making nerdy mugs and creature sculptures. I started working in clay in 2007, didn't really do it a whole lot in college, came back to it around 2013, and I've been doing it full-time since January of 2020, but basically full-time since, 2018. So, yeah, so Donte, why don't you go ahead?
So, long time ago, the government made me angry and I decided to start a YouTube channel, essentially. And it's become well known enough for me to be kind of a supplemental thing for other people's teaching or journey throughout art and ceramic artwork. And at the moment, I think we're at 50K subscribers on YouTube. We started the Mud Peddlers podcast, right? It's really like I bugged Lindsey to start it.
Pretty much.
It was over the course of 3 weeks. I was like, Lindsey, we should start a podcast. It's COVID time. And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, you gotta. She's like, I don't know. And then every week the you gotta got more intense. Where I was like, you gotta. And then I was like, yeah. And then finally she was like, I can't take it anymore. I'm just gonna start. And now we're kind of here with you guys. Other than that, I'm more of a, I guess you would say, a traditional wheel-thrown ceramic artist. I make a lot of functional art. Whenever I don't make functional art, it's usually decorative vases, things of that nature. I haven't competed in quite some time simply because of COVID. Where are you going to compete? You know what I mean? Unless you want to send your pieces overseas, which you don't.
Yeah, no thanks.
And other than that, I'm just kind of riding this train and trying to be people's academic supplements to their ceramic art journey. I have videos on what your first wheel, what your first kiln, centering. I have glaze recipes out there. I use a lot of glazy. I'm more of a resource than anything at this point.
Do you share what you do full time, Donte? I don't know if you share that or if people know what you do full time.
Full time, my 9 to 5 is that I'm technically a cook / chef. I always like to be realistic in saying that I'm not a chef. You know what I mean? I'm if I were to compare myself to other real chefs in the world, I would say, think of a car mechanic, and then think of, Jiffy Lube. The guy at Jiffy Lube technically is a car mechanic, but he's not, replacing your whole engine. I'm that level of chef. But my 9 to 5, I technically am a professional chef, technically.
Wow.
But you basically put in full-time ceramics in addition to your 9 to 5.
Oh, yeah, no. I absolutely made a deal with, an entity. And he was like, at 50, you're going to die. And I was like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And he was like, cool. Now I don't have to sleep anymore.
For our Mud Peddlers listeners who may not know you guys, care to introduce yourselves?
My name's Becca Otis, and right now I do full-time production pottery for Graves Co. Pottery and in Indianapolis, but previously I owned a paint-your-own pottery / teaching / production studio in Monroe, Washington, and that's been going on for, I owned the store for 3 years, and I was doing full-time since 2014, I think. So I've been doing full-time for probably 7 years, pottery, and yeah.
And myself, I've been selling pottery since 2016 on the side. I'm a full-time website developer. I went to college, majored in IT locally here in Northern Kentucky, and then minored in ceramics because I always kind of had that itch for clay, and I knew I didn't want to like do this. I was not confident in the stability of going out of college with that degree and like saying I'm going to do it as an artist. So I went with the IT route. You know, it pays well, and then I do the ceramics on the side. So the goal is to do it full time someday. I'm kind of working my way toward that, but yeah, just kind of doing the side thing and sharing through social media a lot. Try to share as much business acumen and like stuff that I have interest in, because you know that's kind of lacking in a lot of what you learn. You learn a lot of technique, and you learn a lot about like form and all that stuff that's really important. And then you know the art, the selling of it, and the marketing and the business part is kind of secondary. And like that's what I care about a lot, and I care about very analytical and systems and stuff. So that's kind of what I try to share, and what I think Becca and I kind of strive to share a lot more about.
Totally.
Because that's what we really love. So
you just hit the nail on the head kind of with like that economic side of like pottery and selling your own work. John the Potter had talked about it when we talked to him, when he was like, I see a lot of people making fantastic work, but they don't talk too much about how to sell it and get it out there and how to really advertise themselves. And I'm glad that we have another person who's thinking that way as well, because like I don't
Yeah,
at
me
all.
too.
I just like make, and whoever buys, I guess.
I was, again, when I was preparing for this, I was listening to a few of your guys' episodes, and particularly the last Q&A that you guys did on social media, I was just like wrapped listening, just like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to hear other ceramic artists like really go into detail about that kind of stuff. Because again, I think that's like when I do have the chance to get on my soapbox, that's one of my soapboxes, is that frustration of like the stereotype of the starving artist. It doesn't have to be true, but part of the reason that I feel like it is a stereotype is because the business knowledge that is integral to not being a starving artist is not included in the arts education. And so I think it's really cool that you guys are contributing to educating folks.
there's no shortage of knowledge to know in like the technical side too. Like there's so much you need to know in how to do the process of clay, because there's so many steps along the way, and there's just so much knowledge out there, and like myths out there, and then there's like, you know, you learn from doing, and then there's asking people that have done it and like found success with certain parts of the process, and then marketing and selling it's its own other thing.
Especially with the algorithm at the moment is just like crazy.
Yeah.
And unless you play it, it's difficult to like start advertising yourself.
That was the third episode we did of social media. I feel like we were tired of it by that point, but I mean, there's no shortage of social media questions that people ask, and like our experiences of running our social media accounts is only one facet of like what you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Becca, it seems like you've really been taking off on TikTok from what I saw. Like you have like something like 100,000 followers or something like that. Is that right?
Oh, you be TikToking?
Yeah, no, I have about 200,000 followers on TikTok, and it was a complete fluke, total fluke. Like I shared like a plate hack that you can use with a PVC pipe, and it got like 8 to like 9 million views, and then that just kind of like took me off.
Holy shit.
Yeah, ridiculous. I'm like an ultra introvert, which nobody really knows, but I am. And then I was also going through like my business closing and then moving to Indianapolis, and so I kind of like dropped it. So now I still have 200,000 followers, but I have like every video is like like 2,000 views. So I don't worry about it too much. Like I'm on the completely opposite spectrum. Like I could give like two shits about social media. I've been very fortunate in the sense that I don't know, I'm very transparent. So my customer base is small but mighty. and so that's been really helpful for me. And so having like so many people on TikTok, it's kind of like, they're amazing though. Like the thing about TikTok, which I was so just blown away by, is that they're so willing to support, and they're willing to give you all of their money, you know. And I'm not a seller, so saying like, hey, here's my PayPal, like send me money.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're not doing that. But I am part of the creator fund.
Wait, so the people on TikTok are eager to send you money?
Yes, like the followers. They're like,
It's a filter.
how can we support you? Yeah, they're like, how can we support you? We love you, blah, blah, you know. And it's like, it's great, and like the support is awesome, but it's also like this weird fine line of like, I don't really want to ask you for things.
Yeah.
Here's my product. You know, you're not like you are a creator. Like I'm teaching, you know, I do the same stuff, like how to center, what kilns to buy, how to change a thermocouple, like all those things. But yeah, it's just so weird. But TikTok has a creator fund, and I haven't made very much, but I paid for my cell phone with it, so I made like $800, $900.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, you were saying it was live videos and stuff, right? They watch your live and they can like throw you a few cents and stuff.
Yeah, for doing nothing, it's great. Like, yeah, so you can do live videos and they can like gift you things. They can gift you money essentially, and you have to have 1,000 followers.
Oh, kind of like on Twitch?
Yeah, Twitch has it, YouTube has it, and TikTok has it.
Oh, okay.
They're just called super subscribers on YouTube. And they're called Twitch subs on Twitch. I don't know what they call them on TikTok.
Yeah, and when I was doing lives, like before I left and before, because it really did just completely drop off to a dead end once I left Washington, because I just stopped posting stuff. When I was doing lives before that, it was, 100, 150, 200 people on the live at a time. And we'd just be throwing pots and talking, and I'd play my Spotify playlist and chill out.
And that's kind of how we started kind of getting into the back and forth with Becca and I. We would do IG lives on Instagram. And then that's where we would kind of talk all these kind of topics that morphed into Wheel Talk.
Oh, I see. That makes
That's
sense.
so cool.
And then we were like, hey, we need to capture this longer than 24 hours.
Gotcha. And that's how
That's
Real
how
Talk
this
was
started.
born?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's how our friendship started, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of podcasts are like that.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we're just chilling, but what we're talking about is kind of lit. We'll make a podcast?
Oh my gosh. I'm curious. What are you guys' thoughts on like Patreon? Because
I feel like my thought on Patreon is, like, I think it's a great idea, and I feel like I've given... I mean, this... I'll just say it. I feel like I've given a lot to the ceramics community, like, especially with videos and tips and tricks, and we do this podcast, and it's, like,
Right.
all these things, and I'm like, man, it'd be great to get paid for this shit, And, like...
yeah.
But at the same time, I'm positive, 150% positive, that if I got a Patreon, I wouldn't do anything with it.
Huh.
So I think in theory it's a great idea, and if you are an organized human being like yourself, then it would work fine.
Yeah, I have no, like, I'm not into the Patreon group. Like, I'm not a patron of anyone, so I don't really know what it looks like, but I assume it's kind of like a whole pay-to-play kind of thing. And I don't know. For me, it just feels like another thing to do, like, time-wise. And it feels like gatekeeping too much to me. But I mean, I see kind of the same way as Becca. Like, I don't want to gatekeep information, but I do feel like we give a lot of information. I think ideally for us, like, if we were to get paid for something, we would like to have a sponsor for the podcast or something like that would pay us a little bit for the information that we're giving.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I get free stuff sometimes too. Like, Speedball gives me free shit. Diamond Core's give me free shit. Like, I still get some stuff. I don't get money per se, but I get, like, products sometimes.
Yeah.
But, like, the whole...
And that's why I don't recommend Diamond Cores, because they haven't given me free shit yet. Come on, Diamond
You
Core.
hear this,
What the
Diamond
fuck?
Core? Get it together.
But the whole, like... Yeah, the, like,
Also,
gatekeeping
P.S.
part
You can buy their
is-
shit on Amazon. You can buy shit on Amazon that's half the price. That's all I'm saying.
You can.
But then you're supporting
can.
Amazon.
Anyway.
No.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
I mean, I think are there Patreon communities that, like, they get, like, one-on-one kind of thing, and you get, like, a private,
Yes.
like, interaction, and that's kind of how they do the Patreon side
Yeah.
of it?
So my Patreon isn't too big, but I constantly don't advertise my Patreon personally. The way I treat my Patreon isn't kind of like in the context of gatekeeping, like you had said. It's more that I give out all the information I want to give out, or that I can give out, in fact. And anyone who seems to like my personality or wants extra pictures of my artwork, even though I'm constantly posting anyway on public platforms, or they want extra videos that usually are not educational. They just, like, one of them was I went to the museum with a group of friends for like an hour, and it was an hour-long video of me walking a museum. People are really paying for Patreon as far as that extra content and entertainment. As far as the education side, that's just free form for everybody. I really don't want to keep that from the art community at large. And the way I describe Patreon is like, it's OnlyFans for crafters. It's like,
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
you already know what I have. You just want to see more of it. I'm not keeping it from you. You just want to see more.
Okay.
I always tell people, you don't have to support me. I will still give you this information. Just people who want me to be a little more successful. Like my camera, this microphone, probably the computer we're talking on right now, quality by Patreon. Like, there are people who want to see me go up in quality and want to support me as an artist.
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, I can't even keep TikTok up, so
It sounds like another one, like Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok.
You're right in that it is another platform to post on. It is like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, OnlyFans. Like, you're right in that it is more work, But realistically speaking, if I had to, like, Patreon takes care of me way more than YouTube does, and YouTube does pay me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that your Patreon was more like money that you're getting in the pocket than YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't pay me very much.
Can we ask how much?
YouTube pays me about $500, and that's when my channel is doing very well. I'm getting like 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers every month, and out of those 1,000 to 2,000, I pick up like 50 people a month who are constant. Like, they're like, I've clicked the bell next to subscribe. I'm looking for your videos every single month. I'm coming back. And of those videos, only 3 out of the 4 of them have ad revenue on them, because I feel sometimes like I don't want to put ads on my videos. I feel like it would be a smoother transition, and it interrupts the process. So I take the ads off sometimes. So I'm not like money. I'm more like education first, but if I can get money to up that quality of education, like if you were to fund a school for better books, then I would like that. That'd be tight.
And the Patreon is like double that? Or is it triple that?
It's almost double that. No, it's not triple. No. I don't push my Patreon. I haven't talked about my Patreon for like a month. This is the first time I've done it on a podcast for quite some time. But I never end a video with like, Patreon, guys, remember, give me money. Like, I almost never
Not that there's
mention it.
anything wrong with that, Donte.
Not that there's anything, I just don't push it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I care far more about the authenticity of my community than I do getting money from my community, you know?
Right.
Not to
Yeah.
say that you can't get money from your community and also be authentic.
Right, no, that's not, yeah, no. I agree with Lindsey, I just don't do it on purpose.
Yeah. My community, you know what's funny is that I had a friend in my store probably like a year ago, and she was paid me something for something, I don't know. And then she like hands me $100 essentially, and she goes, "Do you always take money from your friends?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because, like, when you have a smaller community of people, you become friends with that community, and then they end up paying you money, and it's like, and I had to come to terms with that, like, had to be like, okay, am I okay with taking money from these people that I go to dinner with, or, you know, hang out with, like, have a house key so that I can watch their house? Like, am I okay with that? And it is interesting that, like, after a while, you kind of are like, well, I'm gonna have to be okay with it.
It sounds like she was trying to guilt trip you and to give her some free shit.
Yeah, I thought you
Well,
were, the way
she
you were
already got
saying that, I
free
thought
shit,
you were
so.
saying, like, do you actually, like, give a discount to people that you know, like, giving you free stuff? That's what I
No.
thought when you said that.
Sound like she was pulling some Karen on you. Yeah, and subsequently, like, people who are really your friends usually want to support you monetarily anyway. Like, people who want to support me in that fashion don't often be like, give me free stuff.
Yeah.
Usually when they're really down for you, they're like, I want to pay for it.
Yeah, friends don't let friends get discounts.
I have questions for them.
Oh, yeah.
I have one very specific question for both of you.
This is gonna be a curveball. I got a feeling.
So, you've both changed. Have you guys always lived... You guys haven't always lived in the place that you live right now, right?
Not physically in this space, no.
But you've made pottery in different areas of the world.
Yes. Not world, but I mean, yeah.
Okay, do you find different dry times based on your geographical area?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Thank you. Yes. I'm not crazy.
I've always been in Kentucky, so I feel like mine's pretty standard, but...
I've been in California, Washington, and Indiana now. And then I grew up in Colorado. So California, I feel like, dried really quick because it's hot. It is kind of humid, but it's not really not as humid. In Washington, and it also depends on where you are in Washington. Like, I was in a building, and then when I lived in my house, I was in my basement. And my basement, I literally had to have a dehumidifier because it was so damp that nothing would dry. It would
Your
take
entire basement was a damp
forever
box.
to dry. Yeah, my entire basement was a damp box. So I had a dehumidifier that went into the sump pump, and that's how much liquid would come out of it. So, and then being in Indiana, it's interesting because when I got here in January, it was pretty dry, and then now it's pretty humid. So we kind of looked at, me, Ryan, and Rachel, actually, that's Ryan's wife, looked at the humidities of Washington versus Indiana, and they are pretty similar, but they don't act the same at all. But, like, right now, when we are doing pots at Gravesco, they're taking, like, a day to 2 days to dry. At the beginning, when I was here in January, they were taking, like, they would dry in a day. So, yeah. And then, you know, if I was in Colorado, I guarantee you they'd be dry. Like, it'd be more similar to California, but actually drier. Tapping onto that, I feel like that people they underestimate the power of airflow. And so humidity has a lot to do with the drying. temperature and everything like that. But airflow actually has way more to do that. So like I had a friend in London who messaged me and she's like, my pots aren't drying. They're taking 4 days. And I was like, leave the door open. Put a fan on it at night. And she was like, oh, the next day she was like, oh my God, they're all dry now. So humidity does, and like location does have a lot to do with it, but also airflow has more to do with it.
The reason that I ask you is because so many people ask me like how long does it take my pottery to dry, and I'm always telling them like it's really based on where you live, how hot it is, how humid it is, and what type of clay you have. You have to do the work to figure that out for yourself. And since I heard that you've moved so many different places, I was like, she can confirm this for me. I'm not crazy. It has way more to do with humidity than it does the heat in your area. It's just that heat and humidity seem to have a correlation to some degree. Like in Japan, in the summer, it rains, so it takes forever in their summer to dry their pottery.
What I would recommend to anybody is just to make... So, like, at work, we have damp boxes, but we have, like, large damp boxes. So we make shelves, and then we hang shower curtains that have glass beads in the bottom, and those shower curtains lean up against the shelves, and so there's no airflow that comes into the shelf. Like, my boss even has, like, humidity, like, readers in the shelf just to make sure that they're kind of all consistent. So that's a way to, like, make sure that everything's consistent wherever you are, wherever you travel.
How has it been like transitioning, or at least from what I understand, Becca, the job that you have right now is you've only had it for a few months, right?
Yeah, since January like 12th.
How has that been like? Do you still find that you're able to make your own like personal work the way that you want to? Because I know you would also, you're kind of like transitioning your style a little bit more at the same time. So how has that been like balancing this new job? Yeah.
It's funny because my whole journey has been like high production, mid production, and now we're back to high production. So when I owned the studio, I was doing probably like in the summers, probably like 50 to 100 pieces a week, and then maybe more. And then, you know, like doing shows every weekend. But before that, I was doing high production. And then now I'm doing 100 pieces, 150 pieces a day. But I don't have to touch it after that.
Yeah.
Right, you just throw it and go.
Well, except for on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, I trim. That's why I'm tired today. But yeah, it's been fine because I work for one of my best friends. You know, Rebecca is one of my best friends. So it's been... you know when you're like after college and you're like, I'm never having a roommate that's a friend ever again, and I've always been like, yeah, right, and I've always been like, I don't want to work for a friend, but we're both adults and we have good boundaries, and yeah, it's been good. I am exhausted pretty much all the time, but that's also got a lot to do with like some different health stuff that's going on. Yeah, I completely burned out from regular pottery, 100%. So
Really?
It was not a healthy lifestyle that I was leading in 2020 and before. So when I came here, I do have my own studio with a friend, and I have that set up, and I'm doing some tests, but I'm not rushing it because I'm like a classic atypical workaholic. So my gut and my bones is like, get into the studio, like, you lazy piece of shit. And like, and
That's me.
but so now, yeah, that's Ryan to a T. And so now I've kind of like given myself some time and like given myself space to like be present and be okay with my surroundings and where I'm at right now. And I feel like I'm finally getting back to that. And I also don't have a kiln, which has really made this a lot easier because
That decides for you.
if I had a kiln,
Yeah.
I'd probably be working, but my kiln is on back order and it'll be here at the end of April. So
That's still, you have it on order, so that's good. What are you going for?
Cone art, Cone 10, Cone art, 23, 27, I believe. Not as big as I
Right.
would prefer, but it just didn't work out electrical wise. So yeah, so that's been easy, and I feel like it's been really good that I haven't gotten the kiln because now I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Like I'm ready to like get going and to like kind of get back to this.
So it was, if I'm understanding you correctly, it was kind of like the burnt out was coming from you focusing on making a bunch of your own work, selling a bunch of your own work, and is the relief that you're feeling now kind of more from the fact that you are not having, like, you're working for Rebecca? And that you're not having to make as much of your own work? Is that, if I'm understanding you correctly, or?
No, not necessarily. The burnout was actually from a money-driven outlook as opposed to a creativity-driven outlook, or not even creativity, but like what I actually like to do. So when I was at my studio, it was all about how do we make rent, how do we pay the bills, how much money can I get into the door because I don't want to be in debt, how can I pay off this debt. So I'm running classes, I'm running members, I'm running paint your own pottery, and I'm also running my own production. And that's 3 too many things. Okay, so that is
Respect.
It was so much, like, I shouldn't have been doing that. And I did that for 3 years straight, so that is something that I should have never even considered, but it just kind of like evolved, and I think that that's why we always talk about make sure you have a plan for when you start, make sure you stick to that plan, and make sure you not even stick to it, but make sure you have a goal for what makes you happy and what makes you satisfied with life, because if you move away from that and if you start thinking about money more than you start thinking about how your mental health is and how you are, then that's gonna affect what you're doing.
Preach.
Yeah, and so like in the long run, like I love to throw pots. Like I like to sit down, listen to like music or listen to like 15 podcasts and throw 150 pots a day. Like I hate trimming, I hate glazing, I hate marketing, I hate all of that stuff. So if I would have just kind of gone that direction in the first place, I think I would have been better off in the long run.
But you kind of started working in a production studio with Bruning, right? So you kind of started there and then you went off and made your own stuff after you got a big order.
Yeah, so I got an order with Starbucks and then I kind of like went off on my own because the guy that I was taking classes from was like, I think you're making too much stuff, and I was like, bye. So.
Oh yeah, that's how it starts. Every teacher I've ever been was like, I'm not a production studio, and I'm like, well, I am. So goodbye.
Yeah, and I mean, like, they are a production studio, so, and they could have, well, it was funny is that he told me that, and his wife was like, no. his wife came up to me, and she's like, you can stay however long you want. But yeah, so it escalated so quickly, and we say yes to things that we don't think through, and sometimes it turns out great, and sometimes it doesn't. And in this case, it wasn't super great. It was, but it wasn't. Like, I wouldn't trade it, but I don't think I'd do it again.
It wasn't ideal, rather.
Yeah, like, I made so many great connections and so many good people connections that I will cherish forever. And I loved every moment of that, but it was just really tough on me mentally. So
because the main need you had from moving out of the home studio to that was space.
Yeah.
So if you found a space that was kind of in between there that you could have kept up and kind of did your own thing without needing to do classes and paint your own pot, for instance, then you would have been a lot happier from what I gathered from just our discussions,
And honestly, I would have been still doing it if COVID hadn't come along. So the only reason that I stopped, like, I would have been going. I would have been fine. Well, not really, but I would have been going.
Not fine, but just,
Yeah, but COVID stopped, and I remember sitting in my car. I was bawling, and I texted my best friend, and I said, I hate what I'm doing right now. And I was like, I want to leave. I want to go work for Rebecca, because I just visited Rebecca's studio maybe a month prior. And he goes, just set a date, please. He's like, I don't care what you do, just set a date and like stick to it. Yeah, and so I wouldn't have done anything, but I stopped working because of COVID, and I was like, oh my God, I like my life so much better. I hate working where I'm working right now, like doing what I'm doing. And it was just like a light bulb moment. And so, yeah.
Wow. I feel like I just went through a whole anime. Like from like beginning to end. Like, this anime is dope.
Oh my God, I know, it's true. I just, hearing you talk about it.
I just heard the origin story. That was dope. And the main character, like, got out of their life they never wanted. I'm like, yeah. The protagonist.
I have a question for you all then, since you mentioned anime. You all mentioned the anime conventions and stuff like that you sell at. Like, what is that world? Becca and I know nothing about this world. You all talk about it at, like, getting tables and stuff. You know a little. I know, like, Pokemon, and that's it. But
I know a little. I mean, I'm an initial D kid, so...
Well, how much do they want to be freaked out?
Oh my gosh, it's like church for nerds.
Yeah, Yeah, well, the anime conventions are like it's really a cultural standard where it's like everyone like if I walk out in the middle of the street and I sing like an anime theme song, no one's gonna know what I'm talking about. But at an anime convention, they finish the rest of the song. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, like you can start the Pokemon theme song and you'll get at least 3 people standing next to you singing it with you.
Okay. Is that how you guys met? Because we never actually talked about how you guys met.
Yeah, how do y'all know each other?
Her boyfriend tracked me down.
It sounds worse. It sounds worse than it is.
I was at an anime convention. Evidently, Lindsey had been scoping me out online or something to that degree. Like, I think you saw my table once or something.
See, I think so. I think it was like at Fanime, and I was like, holy shit, it's a nerdy dude doing ceramics. But
Right.
I think I was like too nervous to go talk to you or something.
Yeah, I think
How
you
long?
were, yeah.
Wait, how long ago was this? How many years are we talking?
2012?
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
This was 2012 because I was still in college and I went to UC Santa Cruz, and I think the first time I ever went to Fanime I think was in my sophomore year, and I saw Donte just briefly, but then later at SAC Anime, which happens here in Sacramento, Cody was like, hey, Lindsey, you gotta check out this Donte dude.
Why don't they call it Sakame?
Sakame! That sounds so much better! I don't know why. We gotta talk to their PR people.
I don't know why, now I'm angry about it. Well, that's in between Fanime and SAC Anime. I gather that you had talked to each other. Mm-hmm. At least, like, one of you saw me and talked about it. And Cody, having, like, the giant balls he has, came directly up to my table and was like, my girlfriend also likes ceramics. Her name's Lindsey. She's right over there, but she was too nervous to talk to you.
I remember Cody coming up to me later and being like, hey, I finally talked to this Donte guy, and like, here's his business card. You guys should get in contact.
Yeah.
And then I think it was that next SAC Anime where we actually started talking.
I think you're right.
And then there was the urn incident.
Oh no, did somebody make an urn?
I made this. Well, it was my first time experimenting with like pure Japanese like Hagi porcelain, and so I made like this egg shape, but it was so round and it enclosed at the top that people mistook it for an urn.
Yeah, because because what happened is so it was one of the first few times that Donte and I had like actually gotten together in person to like hang out.
Yeah.
And we were
It
like,
was cold.
oh, like, where should we go? So we went to get coffee, and then we ended up going to this Irish pub called De Vere's, and like, I'm dressed in black, Dante's dressed in black, he has this urn-looking thing, and we're at an Irish pub, and the waiter comes over, and he's like all happy at first, and then he looks at the table, and then he like sombers, and he goes,
sorry.
He's like, so who are we celebrating today? And we're like, nobody. And he's like, oh, but isn't that? And we're like, no. And there's this picture of us with Donte and I with exaggerated, like,
I still have it.
Yes.
I still have it. It's a picture of us like constipated sad face.
Constipated sad face, yeah. Oh my god.
I wish I
That's
still had that piece.
fantastic.
Oh, it's such a good piece. But yeah, so we eventually, like, I don't know, I met up for coffee more. You invited me to do your pot smashing day.
I cherry picked the hell out of you, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I've told you this before. Like, Lindsey, so I want to say maybe like a couple months after that, there was a show at maybe even a year, a show at the Blue Line Art Gallery, and I saw this piece that was one of her, for lack of a better term, like her creations, her like sculptures.
Because I do creature sculptures in addition to the more like mugs, nerdy mugs that I make, so.
Yeah, and it had won an award, and I looked at it, and I was like, I like that shit. And then I saw the name on it, and I was like, yeah, I need her on my team. Yep, and that was it. And I've just, she's just allowed me to be around here from like that point on.
Yeah, he brings me boba. That's how that's the trade.
That's how I work. People are nice to me and they give me food, and then I just don't leave them.
I had a follow up to the anime thing. How much is like a table there that you're paying for, and like what is like a good sales day look like? Because that's the majority of the sales that you all have talked about on the podcast before. Mm-hmm. Are those the main venues that you go through in person for sales?
Lindsey, like what's the most you have ever made at Fanime in a day? I have a very definitive, like I have a very clear memory of that.
Yeah, so the table fees range between, like, I think the lowest that I paid was $150 for the weekend, which is really not bad.
Not at all.
And then I think it's between like $150 and like $200.
And those are 3 days typically, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
3 days. Yeah. So the fee is between $150 and $200. And over the weekend, I think the most I pulled in over a weekend was 3,500. And then I think Saturday was my busiest day, and I want to say I made like 1,500 that day.
Nice.
You're kind of working off volume because there's so many thousands of people that go to that, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah,
it's just maximum exposure. It's just you're in an aisle with constant people.
Mm-hmm. And it's nice because like you're in an environment where like people have already paid to get in, so they're not necessarily just browsing, and also there's not very many nerdy ceramic artists who are at these anime conventions. And then like I know from being a con goer that it's like you go in there ready to just empty your wallet, you know. So it's like you
go look for like a specific thing most of the time. And if you have an artist you like and you go back to that convention, you're like, I'm looking for Lindsey. I have $50. I paid to be here. I'm looking for Lindsey.
What kind of peers do you have there with tables? Is it a lot of other artists, like making printmaking stuff and like graphic artists and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's been, over the last couple of years, I feel like there's been more people doing more 3D art. You know, sometimes you'll have folks making like soap sometimes. You'll have folks making like bags. You'll have clothes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, things like that. But most of the art, I would say, is probably print. But what's nice is that they have like a they have like the artist alley, and then they have the vendor hall.
Yes.
The vendor hall, the bright side of that is that if you can pay, like, you get a bigger space, you can pay ahead of time because the artist alley is kind of like on a lottery system, so it's like you may get in or you may not, depending if it's like lotteried or if it's like a juried thing.
Yeah.
But like artist alley is generally for like smaller artists, like, you know, like us who make, you know, who aren't like big
like
manufacturers. So they really highlight handmade artwork or like smaller artists in this artist alley in the conventions, which is really nice.
Yeah, agreed. And it's also awesome because you don't have to really compete with like the action, not production work in the sense that we have production work, but I mean production work as in like mass produced like hoodies, like Pikachu mugs that have been made by an actual machine that are made from like low fire, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to compete with that.
You'd be surprised how many things are actually made by a machine in China. There's not in the ceramics world. It's actually no. It's actually not as many. Like they use jiggers, but mostly I know this because my brother, not my brother, my best friend is he imports from China and he does ceramics and he imports ceramics, which is hilarious. But I was the one that helped him get cone 10 instead of cone 04.
Nice.
But yeah, like they all use like jiggers and stuff. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I never really knew that about the China sector of ceramics. Anyway, Donte, what was your most highest day?
I think I made 2 Gs and it was on my last day. What usually happens is like Friday you start off and the real con goers, like the people who are looking for you specifically, are coming for you. It's Friday. I know you're at this convention. I'm looking for you. I found you. I know where you are. I followed your social media, all that. I came for the product that I want before everybody else gets it.
Yeah.
Saturday is kind of the in-between stage where the latecomers who follow your stuff come, or people who just go buy your stuff and don't know about you will often be attracted to it. Sunday is when all those people who have seen you are like, this is the last day. I need to get it before he goes. The timeline is 4 o'clock on a Sunday, and it's 2 o'clock. Either we're buying or we're out. Like, it's make or break decision time. And so usually, I remember my very first table at Fanime, I sold all my cups for like $10, $15.
Oh my god. I remember you telling me about that.
And I still made like $1,500 in a weekend.
I did that at a garage sale. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you first start out, you're like, I just want this out so I can make more stuff. I want more money to make more stuff.
Yeah.
And then as I kept going, I kept raising the prices. And now I think it's like $25, $28 a mug if I'm in person, if it's not sold on my website. But yeah, at the time it was like $25 a mug. And at the very last moment, people were just buying anything that was blue because people be like that.
Are those tables normally like a 6-foot table, or is it like a 10x10 booth, or what?
It's like 6 by like 5 or 6 by 4. Like it's like 4
Jeez,
and then like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest table I've ever had is like 6 by 6. Usually I have a cart or whatever I tote underneath the table. Whenever somebody buys something, I put more up there, so I'm just constantly doing work.
Yeah, it also depends on the space that you get, because regular artist alley spaces are like the size that Donte was talking about, but sometimes they'll have a specific section within artist alley called Indie Zone, which I go to sometimes, which is like if you are making original designs, not just like fan art, and those will be like more like a 10 by 10. So those can be a little bit bigger, but for the most part, that's the size.
The magical thing is when they don't give you a table size and they say you have to provide your own table. That to me is like, oh, you're new at this. I'm bringing the biggest table because it wasn't in the contract, and that's your fault.
Yeah, bring an 8-foot table or something like that.
Why is your table 10 by 10? Why didn't you specify a table? If you provided me with a table and a chair, this wouldn't happen.
What events do you guys find the most like success at? Because I kind of got the sense that you guys were doing events like more frequently. Because I mean, I only, back when we could go to conventions, I only went to like maybe 3 conventions a year or something like that. But what do you guys find like a good market for y'all's work?
I enjoy selling in person the most, which is a lot of like monthly markets, a lot of like arts and craft kind of shows. So it's a lot of other, there could be like macrame artists or painting or photography or something like that. Or like kind of indie sort of markets where there might be soaps or like honey, things like that are local. Those are typically like not juried. They're more like give us your website and your social media and you're paying maybe $80 for the booth, maybe $90. So it's usually less than 100 and it's typically one day. They have it the first weekend every month or the third weekend every month. And then I kind of like sign up for 3 of those throughout the season, or the other show that's the third weekend, I might do like 2 of those throughout the season if I'm not selling another one. And then I'll usually sign up for like juried shows like the Berea Craft Festival, which is in Kentucky, which I'll be doing this year hopefully. And those are like 2 or 3 day shows that are art shows. They're juried. You probably go into like Zapplication and fill out an application for it and sign up, and the booth is probably $200 plus the $25 to $40 application fee. I've been doing a lot of like one day shows because I like to just get there in the morning, set up, do it all, sell, and then tear down at the end and go home. But I'll be doing a few more like 2-day ones. But I did a lot of farmers markets last year because of COVID. So, I was still able to sell at 24 shows, but, half of those were farmers markets.
Farmers markets are underestimated, I think.
Yeah, you pay $25 for the booth, and I was selling $500 or $600 for a $25 booth. Like, that was worth it for me for 4 hours.
If you did a Davis farmers market, you'd fucking kill it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Because Davis is like a small community, and Sacramento's a little bit bigger. But, you could get into like the middle of Sacramento,
They do have booths in the middle of Sacramento, but now that you say Davis, it's weird because I'm from California and other states consider us hippies. But when you say Davis, I'm like, oh man, they would love it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only thing that you'd be competing with is the other potters, so you'd have to kind of, like, figure that out. But
new friends.
The advantage to farmers markets, I feel like, are that they're, like, the small community, but the disadvantage is that farmers markets are usually traveled by the same occupancy every week. So, like, especially if you're in a small community. If you're in a larger community, it may be different, but definitely, when you are in, like, small town, Snohomish, Washington, everybody that goes to that farmer's market is going to be the same person that went to it last week. So, like, I would always go pretty random to farmer's markets. The market that I do is not a farmer's market. It is an art show. So it's an outside art show that Leavenworth, Washington puts on. Leavenworth is a tourist community, and so it's basically a Bavarian-style city. So everything in the town is Bavarian style. So there's a lot of brats, there's a lot of beer, there's a lot of, like, tourists. It's like Estes Park. It's kind of like Big Bear. That kind of situation. So anyway, so this is the show that I've been doing, and I'm still considering whether I'll be doing it next year or not. I won't be doing it this year, but traditionally I've done Leavenworth Art in the Park, which goes from May 1st to October. The end of October, which is Oktoberfest. And that's every single weekend, Friday through Saturday, except for June and July, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's $25 for a booth, and then they take 20%, and it's the central checkout. So there's about 20 vendors, and everybody gets a 10 by 20 booth.
Oh, that's nice.
Damn.
It's super nice. So that's kind of that's what I've been doing. I started at like different smaller like shows and stuff, and eventually just ended up on Leavenworth just because I was an hour and a half away. It was easy, and it's very consistent. And with that, I can make like $20,000 to $25,000 a summer, like doing that. But
you have to have work as well every week, right?
Yeah, that's like what I'm so curious about, because it's like, how do you keep up with that? Because like a couple of years ago when I tried to do a bunch of shows, like I literally was unloading kilns the night before.
Yeah.
And like if that kiln load had fucked up, I would have had no work. So how do you navigate that?
So my schedule Ryan knows this, but my schedule for summers are, okay, get home from the show Sunday night. On Sunday night, potentially if I'm awake enough, I will throw about 50 to 60 pieces, and the next day I'll throw about, 50 to 60 pieces, and then I'll finish those pieces by Wednesday. I'll have them in the kiln by Wednesday night. I'll bisque them Wednesday night. I'll pull them out Thursday morning. I'll glaze them Thursday. Thursday midday. I will fire them Thursday. I'll pull them out Friday morning at 5 a.m. I will pack them up into my car, drive to Leavenworth, get there at 7:30, and then I do my show, and then I come back on Sunday, and then I do the same thing all over again.
Holy shit, you're a badass. Oh my god.
That's so down to the wire.
Oh my god, I'm getting anxiety just thinking about that, but holy shit, that's intense.
I can't tell you how many times, and this is like, okay, so when I had nice kilns that actually had thermocouples that had digital readings.
Oh, she just had the sitter.
I was firing in my house on my front porch, and I remember sitting on my front porch Googling, and I swear to you, I've read the same forum 50 times. How soon can you unload your kiln? Because I would be texting Mary, who is the like head, and I'd be like, I'm gonna be late, and I'm at like 450, and I'm pulling pots at like 400 degrees. They're still warm when I get to Leavenworth.
Mad lad.
Oh my god. What is the answer to that? When can you unload them?
It's 200 degrees.
No, it's not.
Is it?
Bullshit.
What is it? What is it? Because I've heard
You're
that
gonna
like
thermo-shock your glaze matrix, I say.
Nope. It's already gone
Thermoshock.
through thermal shock. So I've unloaded a kiln at 400 degrees, no problem.
Oh my god.
No problem. The thing that you actually have to be concerned about is your kiln. It's not necessarily the pots. If you have glazes that fit your clay correctly, and after they've kind of gone through all the thermal shock situations, they're going to be fine. Bigger pieces, I'd be more concerned about that. But what you have to be concerned about is when you lift up your kiln lid, whether it's going to crack. You lift it up and you hear it, right?
Yeah.
Just put it back down.
Put it back down. Yeah.
It's a thermal
So-
shock on the kiln
No.
itself.
Yeah. So it's
By your
more
cracks,
about
it goes back down.
it's more about your kilns than about your pots, because if your pots are going to be dunting in the future, they're going to be dunting regardless. So
Right.
when you have an old shitty kiln, like who fucking cares? Like open up the kiln at 400, pull them out. But yeah, I mean, it's like
That was a crazy timeline. I remember talking with you while you were doing this, and it was ridiculous.
I kind of miss those days, honestly.
So
Crazy.
Ryan, is that what you have to look forward to when you eventually go to full time? What's your plan?
No, I'm a very big planner. Like right now, I probably have 400 pots that are finished in my studio that are just sitting on shelves. And I'm still worried about not having enough pots. So that's my brain. I need to find better ways of selling it, but I'm definitely a planner. I mean, if you see any of my stories or whatever in the studio, like you can see shelves of bisqueware and shelves full of finished ware. Like I have no shortage of pots. It's a challenge for me to continually figure out where's the demand at, what do I need to spend my time doing, as well as just like right now I'm going through fulfilling these orders to like restock some local studios for their inventory and what they need for the spring. So like that's kind of a thing that I'm trying to figure out, as well as having stuff to restock on the Etsy shop or whatever, and balancing out. I want to like feed the online group of people to buy stuff, and like I want to feed my galleries so they don't get mad at me for taking like 4 months to deliver something, and then I got to fulfill these custom orders that I committed to. And then,
Damn, that's a lot to balance.
It's-
Like how
it's
much
tough.
like right now, like what's the like rough percentage breakup between like the deliveries and to the gallery, and for the galleries, is that like wholesale or is that consignment?
Most of it's consignment. I'm not really. I have like one wholesale right now that I'm working on, but that's smaller. It's like 18 mugs or something. But
So you're like married up to a consignment. Is it one or many?
yeah, the thing is, I got into the consignment game like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, yeah, my goal is to just reach out to a bunch of galleries that I like admire and I like locally that my stuff would fit well in, and you reach out, you
Yeah.
make that connection, you fill out the application, you go meet with them, you show them your stuff, and then you like get your foot in the door. Sales start going kind of slowly, you don't really sell that much, and then over time they grow, and now I get a check almost monthly from most of these
Nice.
galleries. So that's where like it's easy. As long as I deliver stuff, they can sell it, and I'm usually getting a 60% cut of that. So But I am like having to draw the line of like what I can consign, like the carved stuff. I don't consign almost any of my carved stuff because it's just not worth it financially to do that, because I can't keep up with the demand one-on-one with people, whether it's at a show or online or whatever. So like I just kind of have to draw that line and say, this is what I can commit to. This is the stuff that I can deliver. And then I'm finding this year like I'm having to raise my prices on stuff, taking that to the galleries too.
Good for you on making that adjustment, because yeah, it's hard to balance that financial picture, and especially for like the goals that you have set. Like honestly, you're talking about having that $100,000 financial like goal set. I'm like, damn, I need to raise my expectations.
Yeah, Lindsay and I are over here like, we never put a price. We're just kind of like doing it.
Yeah. No, I never really set like firm financial goals for myself.
Yeah.
In like that. I mean, like I feel like every year I kind of focus on something different. But so I have like goals set, but not necessarily like specific financial goals set. I more so just go like,
yeah. Why not throw a number up on the board? Throw it up there, see what happens.
Yeah. Well, after you guys talking about it, I will.
You know what my favorite thing about Ryan is that he's like the cheapest son of a bitch I have ever met in my life. But he has like the highest financial goals, which makes me like love you so much more, by the way. I just
act
like
broke
he's
to
like,
stay rich.
no, I won't spend
Yep.
$3 on toothpaste, but I want to be paid $100,000.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't hear what you first said about toothpaste, but I heard the
I
100.
said no, I'm not gonna spend $3 on toothpaste. Like, that's you.
I don't
He's
know
right,
that I
though.
said
No
that.
joke
but-
though, I buy like the 99-cent dental floss, and my boyfriend's looking at me like, Lindsay, the nicer stuff is like $2, and I'm like, no, it's too expensive.
I am not paying more money to put string in between my teeth.
That's what I love about you, Ryan.
Well, thank you. I don't mind being called a cheap ass by my mother or you on the podcast. I don't care. I hear it enough. I'm fine with it.
Hey, honestly, it's like,
out of love.
it's good. I think it's a good thing. Like, I feel like, because I feel like if you can be a cheap ass in some areas, you get to splurge in the areas that you actually care about. And if you don't care
yeah.
about buying nice toothpaste, who gives a shit?
My car looks nice. You know my car looks
Yeah.
nice? Because I don't be spending on beer every day.
And see, me, I'd rather spend the money on the beer.
Yeah.
For me, if I'm not wearing it or eating it, I don't pay for it.
Who is a dream person that you'd want to interview on Mud Peddlers?
Does it have to be is it just a ceramics person or like an any person?
No, it could be anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
I want to interview Guillermo del Toro because he's one of my patron saints. Guillermo del Toro, the film director. Yeah, he did Pan's Labyrinth and The Orphanage and Hellboy, and
Yeah.
I would want to interview him because he's like his artistic style and the way that he brings like dark fantasy to life in these really rich, complex ways that like source from modern visual culture of creatures, but also like delves into this rich history of like traditional art, and that combination just like does things for my brain.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. That's who I'd interview.
That's a difficult question for me because personally, it's weird because I'm like a bit antisocial, but at the same time, I really want to make like YouTube friends and whatnot, you know? Like with you guys, I was excited to be here because I'm like, more Potters to get along with, right? Because there's a subset that goes like, they're already part of the culture that I'm already indoctrinated into, which is pottery, of course, or clay culture. Mm-hmm. But the newest person in my site has been Seth Rogen. He's not recently become a potter, but he's become larger in the stratosphere of potter and ceramic culture. And I really want to sit down and be like, how did you become a pothead figuratively and literally? I think I'm more interested than I am awestruck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be more interested to like actually hang out with him and talk to him as one-on-one than I would be to like want to actually do it for Mud Peddlers. Yeah, I'm massively curious about him. Yeah. Other than that,
What about you guys?
Ugh.
Like if you could have a dream guest on Wheel Talk.
Flipping the script.
Yes.
I'll go because I know he's going to have time to think about this. I feel like my dream guest is also going to become a reality pretty soon, but
I think you're going to say the same thing that I'm going to say.
Leanne from Elan Pottery is mine because she's like... Is that
was
yours
mine.
too?
As soon as you started saying that, I was like, damn it.
Damn it! No, We have different reasons. My reason is because she's the one potter that's really like spread her wings to not only importing from other people within the United States and selling that product, but also importing from China with her coffee pour overs. And I really am so interested in how she's like built her thing. And I also want to know like if she hates her life or if she loves her life. Like, you know, like I also want to know if she's like maxed out, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm really curious about people and how I like cynically like think that people actually secretly all hate their lives, and and I want to know why. Like I just she seems so interesting to talk to, and she's done so much in the ceramics community, and I feel like that's really cool. Ryan?
Yeah, mine was similar. I want to see how she balances all of her duties, and like how does she get a team around her that can keep the train on the tracks and still share stuff about like being excited about getting her greenhouse that's like down the hill and doing projects for that's on her property, and like, you know, the new place she's got at the beach now, which I got a feeling that was related to like getting away from the studio during the weekends. And
so proud of her for that.
And also being a mother and like balancing the different businesses of the pins and the transfers and the pottery, and how she can keep up with all the restocks, and it's just nuts. Like that's where I would want to see how she can balance it all.
Just to see how these monsters like hunt
Do
in the middle.
everything.
Yeah, like how does the wolf hunt is my question.
Yeah.
Because the dogs are very impressed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's do one last question, and let's say who is like a ceramic artist that you, or a potter that you idolize and that is like one of your faves.
Mine is just my teacher that is now retired, but
Who is that?
he taught me everything I knew. Yoshio Taylor. I went to college and he like taught me everything I know. Like he's the only teacher I've ever had. Everything else is just development from what I see online or my own like experimentation. I think my dream one day is to like make it to a stratosphere of pottery or a hierarchy of pottery on the list and be like, look what you have done, and for him to be proud of me to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one of my main goals.
Yeah. I think I would probably like, I don't know, this feels like an almost obvious answer, but like I think Mike Sinelli is an artist who really stands out for me because I always really struggled with surface decoration with my functional work because I came from a sculptural background. So I didn't know how to make my work interesting, and I feel like he was one of the artists that I first saw his work and was like, holy shit, like this is what I want to, like that level, that layering, I think his work really made an impact on like my conception of all that you could do with a very functional piece. He was also the first art mug that I ever bought, my first $70 mug, you know?
$100 mug club.
You never forget my first mug. I still have to repair it though, because I dropped it.
Don't tell him that part. He's gonna hear it.
I know, I'm sorry.
He's gonna give you
But I
another
did.
one.
Oh my god, I would die. I would die, and I would have to make him a special mug and then send him one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
We have to have a go around of like all the potters we know and be like, mug trade.
Yeah.
Everybody mug trade.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you guys kind of do that, right? Don't you do a like a mug swap, pot swap?
Pot swap.
Pot
Yeah.
swap.
Let us know. We'd love to be part of the next one if you do it.
That would be really fun.
Sign up quickly. It'll be this October.
Ryan, who's your artist person?
Yeah, I want to know.
I know, I'm
I
sorry.
hate when you do this, Becca. I don't want to be repetitive of what I
Just
always
say it,
say
it's
on this
fine.
podcast, but
Speak your truth.
Yeah, because the Mud Peddlers people may not have heard it.
Church.
all right, my go-to is always Kurt Hammerly because I like his process and I like his ability to do the glazes and the way he's like scaled his business in a safe manner and finding the demand, the trajectory he's had with the quitting the day job, that's kind of like the picture that I see, and it's like what's possible and what you could do like completely debt-free. I really love that part of it, that he's not taking super risky chances with the business part. He's taking it steady but also like cautiously, but he's also finding time to like experiment and do fun projects and see what happens. So that's always my go-to.
I hear that. Donte and I were literally just talking about him like before we hopped on with you guys, because I was again just like watching his growth over the last even just couple years is just like holy shit. But knowing that he's doing all of that like debt free and everything is just that's amazing.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Becca, what about you?
Mine is somebody probably no one's ever heard of, is Anne Van Huey.
Oh, I just heard you talking about her on the last podcast that you guys did.
Yeah, she's a potter in, I want to say it's either Amsterdam, Germany, or Sweden. And I'm not sure, but she takes colored clay and then puts them in a plaster form and like throws them in that form, and then she cuts them with scissors, and then she folds them over, and they are fucking phenomenal. And I remember seeing her pieces like in 2014 and like Googling how she did her process and all these things. And it's so simplistic, and it's so like, but it's so elegant all at the same time. And that's who that's it. Yeah.
There's always these tricks in the like upper ranges of pottery that you're like, whoa, how was that done? And then you research it and you're like, oh, that's actually really simplistic.
Yeah.
I don't know, like bubble glaze, people are like, put soap in your glaze and blow bubbles. That's right.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make colored clay? You just mix mason stains with like really white pure slip, and it turns into clay over time. I knew that.
But it's like the skill to take that basic instruction and then execute it well is a whole other thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Well, it has been so much fun chatting with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have us on anytime. We like this. This is cool.
Yeah, we really appreciate you all spending time with us. I know the listeners will definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. We do gotta get going, but I do gotta get going, but I really do.
Yeah, you gotta go raid with your Destiny group.
They're blowing me up.
So popular.
They're like, yeah, you said 30 minutes.
Gotta go game.
40 minutes ago.
Alright, we'll get going, Donte.
We'll see you guys later. Thanks for
Alright.
joining us.
Really great chatting with you guys. And that's it for today. Thank you for listening to The Mud Peddlers with Lindsey M Dillon.
And Donte of Earth Nation.
Want to say hi and see what Donte and I are working on in our studios? Check out the show notes for links to our websites and social media below. You can find me at lindseymdillon.com. That's LINDSEY, M as in monster, DILLON.com. And on Etsy, Instagram, and Facebook at Lindsey M Dillon.
And you can find me at Earth Nation Ceramics. It's spelled exactly how you think it's spelled, but you can also find me on my Facebook fan page and Instagram at the same name at Earth Nation Ceramics.
If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, or you have a question or topic you'd like us to discuss, take a second to rate and review The Mud Peddlers in Apple Podcasts. It helps our podcast reach new listeners, and we really appreciate the feedback. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time. That was so much fun. Oh my god, I'm so sorry we ran so late.
It's okay.
What time is it?